Welcome to another episode of Punch TV. It's DIY in the YXE. We are down in Riversdale talking to artists who are doing it for themselves. We had the honor of visiting the Cheshire Smile Animation Studio and learned about what they're doing and what they're producing. It's incredible. And we also got a chance to visit Void Gallery, and we got to talk to Michael Peterson about this really cool zine project that they did, and we got to talk to artists Chris Moore and also Kate Francis. So you definitely want to tune in. This is a show not to be missed.
All right, everybody, welcome to The Collector today. We're not going to talk about collecting today. We're going to talk to my good friend, Tim Tyler. Tim, how you doing?
I'm great.
Tim here has a company called Cheshire Smile, and they do animation, which is pretty exciting, and they actually have some stuff going on right now. What are you doing?
Hey, Tony. Well, thanks for coming down and coming to talk about my stuff.
Yeah.
We got this show, Robotic, and it's been awesome. Cheshire Smile, we're making preschool television.
I've seen it. Now, I've only seen it online. Is it not? It's not actually in Saskatoon then?
So, yeah, well, we're based in Saskatoon, but we're working for partners who are outside of Saskatoon. So we're working with Radio Canada and Television French Ontario, TFO, to make our show Robotic. So it's a preschool show for 3 and 4-year-olds. It's about a little robot named Becca and her dog bot Bubo. And they have a robot repair shop.
Nice.
Yeah, every episode they get visited by a robot who
awesome.
Wants to experience some kind of a change.
Okay, so when I watched this, I did watch a little bit of it because I thought it was genius. So obviously the whole robot thing and the fact that there's no actual language at all. It's all beep beep boop boops.
Yes, that's right. It's robot.
Yeah. So robot language. So did you get it?
It's what we call universal robot language. Universal robot language.
Boop 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 boop.
That's the
So
one.
I'm getting a lot of R2D2 type situations in the show where they're actually robots talking to each other in their own lingo.
Yeah,
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun, and the idea is that we're trying to create a show that we can sell into all kinds of different territories. So robots, they're culturally agnostic. They work as well in Asia as they do in North America, and robot talk boop boops. It works. Everyone understands.
And everyone understands it, and that way you can actually, like you said, you're selling this concept. Now, is this your concept you came up with yourself, or
well, my partner Neil Greening, who's the creative heart. So there's sort of two parts to the show. Myself, I'm the entrepreneur. Driving the business relationships, and Neil is driving the creative. So he actually came up with the concept.
Yes, I've known Neil now also a long time, and this is actually some of his art. Actually, I'm sure. Yes, that's his thing. Yeah. So, and he's been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. So, what were you doing before this show then?
Well, Cheshire, we've been going now for 19 years, believe it or not. Like, it's actually surprising to think about it. And so over the years, what we're about is creating original stories. So what we want to do is create original stories that smiles are born on.
That's awesome. That's
awesome. And so we've been doing that now for 19 years. So we started off doing web cartoons. We've done shows for Teletoon. We did a show called Space Stretch, which is what this console is from, where kids do yoga in outer space.
That is amazing. And all these things are things that you've been working on in Saskatoon. So you're a Saskatoon-based company that's doing things for other, for television outside of Saskatchewan.
Yeah, totally.
Are you doing anything for Saskatchewan right now too, or is that?
Well, we have. So we have a show that we did, Cuisine and Space Stretch. We're done with City, Saskatchewan, and Cuisine still plays, and Space Stretch still are on TV in Saskatchewan. Cuisine is just started to air in Korea. So amazingly, we have this show where we've got Saskatchewan children who are from schools in Saskatoon who are now appearing on television in Korea, South Korea.
I was going to say, yeah, that is awesome. That is really cool. So tell me a little bit about this machine here. How do you do yoga with this crazy thing?
Well, this is, when we did Space Stretch, it's a green screen show.
Yeah.
So this is the console from the Century Condor. And kids would beam up in front of they would stretch in front of their TV, and then they would get beamed onto the Century Condor, which is 10% less awesome
than the Millennium Falcon.
10% less
you
awesome.
said that earlier, and everyone was laughing, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get the joke, but I get it now. Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, 10%.
10%.
Century, millennium. Anyway,
10%.
but so this is from that. So we're having a blast.
Yeah, cool. It looks really good. I really am impressed by what you've put on television so far, and I'm really proud of you, Tim. I'm glad to have known you for so long. You're an awesome guy. Thank you for being on the show today.
I really appreciate you coming down.
Awesome. No problem.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com, in person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Hey Punchketeers, I'm Craig Sullivan, the Movie Geek, and today I'm here to talk about animation. Specifically, I want to talk about different types of animation and some of my favorite animated movies in each style. Now, there are a ton of different styles even within these genres, and we only have a few minutes, so we're going to just cover the broad strokes. What is animation? Well, animation is a method in which pictures are manipulated to appear as moving images. Really, it's a bunch of different pictures shown in a sequence that tricks your brain into thinking it's one fluid object in motion. The history of animation started long before the development of cinematography. Humans have probably attempted to depict motion as far back as the Paleolithic period. Shadow puppetry and the magic lantern were popular, manipulating things by hand or with minor mechanics. There's a 5,000-year-old pottery bowl that was discovered in Iran. It has 5 sequential images painted around it. When you spin it, it seems to show a goat leaping up to nip at a tree. In 1833, the phenakistoscope introduced the stroboscopic principle of modern animation, which gave us the basis for the zoetrope, the flipbook, the praxinoscope, and cinematography. During the early 1900s, the production of animated short films called cartoons became an industry, and cartoon shorts were produced for showing in movie theaters. In 1932, Disney introduced Technicolor to the process. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was one of the earliest to use this process, and the movie still looks beautiful today. And in 1958, Hanna-Barbera created the Huckleberry Hound show for TV, the first half-hour show to use only animation. This all but destroyed animated shorts in theaters, and of course, Toy Story became the first computer-animated feature-length film in 1995, which changed everything. Now there's a few techniques I want to look at today. The first is what is called traditional animation. It's also called cell animation or hand-drawn animation because it's hand-drawn on transparent acetate sheets called cells. Today, animators' drawings and the backgrounds are either scanned into or drawn directly into a computer system, so the use of cells is obsolete. To see a couple of great movies that use this technique, you probably need to start with early Disney movies. I mentioned Snow White, but there are greats from Fantasia to Dumbo that are beautifully realized. There's also more recent fare like the Beatles' Yellow Submarine or The Iron Giant, and of course, Japanese films like Akira, Spirited Away, or Grave of the Fireflies. I should also mention rotoscoping because it looks so cool. It's basically painting over top of something you've already filmed in live action. Movies like Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly utilize this technique well. Even Tron uses some rotoscoping. The next style of animation is stop-motion animation, where you physically manipulate real objects and shoot them one frame at a time. Could be a puppet, could be clay characters, could even be a model like an AT-AT walker. There's movies like King Kong, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and even The Terminator that use stop motion. But if I had to choose one movie to show you to demonstrate stop motion, it would be Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit from 2005. It's an endlessly clever and hilarious romp. The clay figures are molded for each shot, and with 24 individual frames required for each second of film, it's easy to see how the 85-minute feature was 5 years in the making. It might be nice to program a computer to do that work, but the Aardman team believes audiences appreciate human effort and human imperfections. Producer Peter Lord said, quote, "You can see the fingerprints. It tells you that they're real, and in some shots you can see the fingerprints." And of course, the last style is computer animation, which can either be 2D or 3D. There are a lot of techniques under this style, but broadly it means that the animation is created digitally on a computer. For movies under this category, you don't have to look far, since most of them are done this way now. Pixar has cornered the market on excellence here, from Toy Story to The Incredibles, and there's also non-Pixar stuff like the Lego movies too. If I had to name a favorite that wasn't Toy Story, I'd probably say WALL-E. It's a social truth bomb that criticizes a lot of things we'd consider societal ills, like consumerism and environmental issues, but it wraps it cleverly around a cute, funny story. And one last recommendation, one of the best animated movies of the 21st century so far, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It actually utilizes several of these techniques. They would use computer animation to create some of it, then hand draw over top of it to create different styles and imperfections. It's an animation revelation, and it's a fun movie to boot. That's the quick skinny on animation. I'm Craig Silliphant, the movie geek for Punch TV.
I'm very excited to be in Void Gallery with Michael Peterson, and we're going to talk first about a really exciting project that you just executed. This was a zine thing that you created. Tell us about this project, Michael.
Sure. So this was working with newcomers at Global Gathering Place. So it was an opportunity to work with people who hadn't been into our space before, hadn't maybe had the opportunity, but for those for whom English wasn't their first language, an opportunity to tell stories through images, through short form text and other methods.
It's kind of intimidating to just be like, hey, write your life story in a zine. So like, how did you get these folks to come out of their shell?
Well, it wasn't just myself. We had a number of other artists working with us as well. One of them, Manuela Val Castro, she came in for the first session, and it wasn't even something that I realized, but she's originally from Chile. And I think just herself being an immigrant too just really helped them to connect and open up. And it was just really great to have them be so open to share from the start.
Totally. Now, we're distributing these at Amazing Stories, so if you want to come by and pick up a copy, you certainly can. They're free. You had a big launch party. How did that go over?
It was awesome. It was like one of the -40 days, and we still had, I think, close to 40 people out, so it was really nice to see. And a number of the immigrants, and they got up there and actually shared stories, and it's like there's language challenges, but they were really still willing to get up there, and I think just creating space was really nice.
Amazing. And what a great way to welcome someone to our community. So cool. I'm holding this one because, they were all great and they're all charming in their own way, but this one really struck a chord with me. This is La Isa, and it is the story of a grandmother in Spain and just how she kept her family cool in the summer and hot in the winter and comfortable and fed. And when I read it, I felt like I was sitting at her kitchen table, just being taken care of. It's so loving. There was just every fiber of this little zine is just full of love.
And I know Laura spent so much time at it. She was working on we get to see it every week, and it was just just to have so much detail into the images and the story, and really wanted to honor her grandmother.
So how long of a process did it take to create these?
We worked with newcomers for 6 weeks, so once a week for 6 weeks, and then printed them afterwards. So, a relatively quick time, just like you say, because when you're thinking of trying to tell that story, there's a lot that goes into it.
Totally. Okay. Now, are we going to get a chance to see the machine that made these?
Yes. So another of the artists that was part of this, Chris Morin, who's also a member here at Void, he'll be showing us the machine.
Okay, let's go see the machine. See the machine. This machine is really cool, and this is what you use to make the zines, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does it work? Is it like a fancy photocopier, or is it more like a silkscreen press?
Well, it's the risograph machine is kind of a combination of both. So what it essentially does is it creates a stencil, and then it runs the paper through. It leaves the imprint of ink on top. So essentially, it does sort of function like a photocopier, but what you're kind of not seeing on the inside is that there's a paper ink roller. It pushes the ink through the stencil, and basically you can get some really cool effects. When you layer colors on top of things, you can use different colors of paper, different colors of ink, and the process is really quite cool.
I noticed that in the zines that got made, a lot of variety. Some people use photographs, some people just use drawings, some just did black and white. Is it really difficult to make a photograph look good?
I think there's it's a little bit more of an accessible form of printing, really, printmaking, in that, it sort of captures the image. It gets pretty close to what you'd see for a photograph, but it works really, really well with text. It works really, really well with illustration. So it's really versatile in that way. Cool.
Now, you're an experienced printmaker. You've done lots of different forms. And is this something that's new to you, or have you been using this for a while?
I believe the technology has been around for for several decades now at this point. It's fairly new to me. Michael and I actually took a risograph course in Portland last year, and we kind of went with it, and we've been learning along the past couple months since the machine arrived here in Saskatoon, and we're hoping to learn as we go and teach more people how to use it.
Okay, well, I'm signing up. I want to learn how to use it. Now, I understand you were up late last night creating a beautiful piece of art for us today. So, do you want to fire this thing up and show us what you worked on? Okay, let's go for it.
Absolutely. And actually, let's do this. And so, yeah, bit of a warm-up time here, but yeah, we should get going right away here.
Oh my God, they're so awesome. And they're on different colors. Yay.
So, guess we've got a blue ink here, and blue ink, blue paper, and yeah, it's essentially, this thing can fire out probably hundreds of prints in a minute.
That is, like, for somebody making a zine, pretty amazing, because it's time consuming to put them in. So amazing. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. We love the zines that you guys turned out. They're incredible, and what a great way to build a community. So thank you for taking part in that. Makes us all bigger.
No problem.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to use some of the other equipment that's really cool here at Void, and I believe you're going to show us maybe how to make a t-shirt?
I think I can do that.
Okay, sweet. We'll be right back after this.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com, in person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Hello, lovely ladies and or dudes. My name is Hank, and with me, you're never going to believe it, he's back. It's Tony. Tony, we missed you last month on Tweetbeat.
I'm really glad to be back on the beach.
And we missed you, so tell us all, over the last month, what have you gone to see? What have you checked out? Movies?
Okay, well, I saw the new Captain Marvel movie, which I enjoyed. It was really good, yeah. Then lately I've been watching the new Netflix Robot Death, whatever that one is. It's on Netflix. It's about robots, death, and robots. Robots, death, and robots?
Would that be the one where they've taken like 20 different 10-minute long things and put them all together, and some are too racy to show,
yes,
and some are crazy, and some are funny, and
have
some are cute?
It?
I have watched it, yeah.
It's amazing. They're the most amazing little heavy metal bits. It's like reading the heavy metal magazine when I was a kid. They're super good. But yeah, some of them can be rather not.
But the first one was scary. It was too scary, and I almost peed my pants.
Yeah, scary and fun. Yeah, it's great. It's my favorite Netflix show right now. Yeah, for sure.
So speaking of Captain Marvel, what was your favorite thing?
Captain Marvel, my least favorite thing?
Sure.
Yeah, I did not like the whole eye thing, if you know what I'm talking about. The whole eye thing bothered me.
Spoiler alert. Mm-hmm. The thing with the eye you didn't like, how come?
Because if you watch the eye later on in movies after this movie, the eye thing is like a big, giant, huge scratch across the face, eyes missing, it's all white. And in this show, it was like this little tiny, So my guess is it probably got super infected and
itchy,
rancid,
really itchy,
and rancid, infected, and then
some
the eye,
gangrene in
and
there.
then it got really bad and it got worse. Otherwise, it's not.
It doesn't make any sense.
Otherwise, the music was really good in the movie, and the movie itself was a delight. It was a delight.
It was all right.
It was a delight.
Have you been reading anything this month? Maybe some comics you could recommend?
Immortal Hulk is still my favorite. It's up to issue 15 now. I can't wait to read more of it. Immortal Hulk is definitely my favorite. The Hulk is dead, but he's not dead, and it's a great idea and a great story. So.
The Hulk is dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah.
It's the best comic ever written.
Yeah.
So for everything, no, I haven't, but I'm going to check it out.
Check it out, yeah,
I'm going to check it out. I'm going to find out how he's dead and not dead at the same time.
He's dead, but he's not dead. And also, why am I holding this like a microphone when it's just a cord? What is up with this?
Well, we don't want to get dirty.
Oh, because we're on the streets.
Because we decided we're going to take the show on the streets.
We're on the streets now, yes.
We're on the streets.
And so look at us here on the streets.
Yeah.
It's nice, it's springish. and we're very happy to be here on the streets.
On the streets. And for everything that you should be watching, reading, listening to, playing, follow at Hank and Kelso and at Shaw Punch TV. My name is Hank. This is Tony. See you next time, probably on the streets.
On the streets.
Tweet beat.
I'm here with Kate Francis, and if you haven't seen her work, you are in for a treat because you have a whole big world to discover. Sometimes if you see like a little animal is hiding in places around town, that's probably Kate's. Welcome to Punch TV.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we're very excited because you're going to show us how a print is made. So what step in the process are we at right now?
We've already created our artwork and we've got it onto the screen we use a photo emulsion so that everything we draw in the artwork or print in the original comes out perfectly in whatever color we want on whatever surface we want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take it away.
All right. So this is screen printing, by the way. It's a stencil-based process. Each color, like the Riso, each color is one layer. So it has to be built up. If you want multiple colors, you have to build up the layers, like your shirt and my shirt.
So do you do light to dark or dark to light, or you can kind of do what you want?
Mix. You got to know your color theory a little bit. But so we're just going to put the ink down here. And you can't see the image very well on the screen yet.
But the transformation will happen. It's kind of magical, really.
Yeah.
I think it's magic. I mean, it's science more than magic, but it's pretty awesome.
Test print first.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Just so you get a good one for the first real one around. Sorry, I'm not talking to my.
That's okay.
So, on even pressure, 45-degree angle, pull. And then that should have gone through. Now this is an inverted image. The nice thing about screen printing is that if you want to print a lighter color onto a dark, it's very easy to do that. Whereas a lot of other mediums, it's hard to print onto a darker colored paper or surface. So we're going to put this here. Grab our squeegee. Across.
It's raccoons. Oh my God.
And there you have it.
Look at that. We made art in front of you.
You can try one if you want.
It's so fantastic. I do want to. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
Okay, we'll get it set up for the next one.
Okay.
And you can do this as many times as you need.
Right,
As
because
you want. I'll get the paper down there for you.
awesome. Okay,
Hold that for you?
You take the
Okay.
mic. You're the host now. Okay. So even pressure,
Yeah,
right?
push down, pull, yeah. That's awesome.
I feel so Andy Warhol.
There you go.
Ta-da!
It's a great first pull.
Oh, thanks, Kate. Thank you for sharing this with us. This is amazing. And like Boyd does workshops, and I know you've taught some of them. Do you have any coming up in the future?
Nothing scheduled on the books right now.
Can you schedule something? Because I want
Absolutely,
to
we'll
make more.
we'll keep you posted.
Okay,
for sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. This is fantastic. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, now we're on to t-shirt making. So walk us through this process.
Absolutely. So what we have here is a screen with a pre-prepared illustration. We've got some black ink loaded up. We've got our blank t-shirt here ready to go on the machine. And basically we're just ready to do the magic.
Okay, let's make it happen. Abracadabra. I can see stuff. So you gotta like give her pretty good.
A little bit, yeah. You got to put a little bit of muscle into it. And voila.
That is so cool. It kind of smells good too.
Smells like a freshly made t-shirt.
Smells like creative magic. That's awesome. So then you have to obviously like let it set for a little while. How long does that take?
It takes a couple minutes generally, and then you're ready to wear the t-shirt out and show off to all your friends.
That's amazing. So do you like sell your designs on t-shirts for people?
I have in the past. Me personally, I've designed for bands, for friends, fun things like that. Here at Void, we've done things like a T-shirt of the month club where we invite people into the space. They come in, they do the screen printing part, and they walk away with a cool design and a cool experience as well.
I want to do that. Michael, schedule one. I want to do that. That's amazing. Well, thank you again for like sharing your gift. This is totally awesome. And I think a lot of people that now that they know about this, that they're going to want to do this too. It's very good.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Where can people see more of your artwork? Do you have like an Instagram page or a website?
Absolutely. There's a lot of things up on Void Gallery on Instagram, and I guess my personal one as well is crixmorks. Just at crixmorks, and that's on Instagram.
Okay, awesome. Check it out. This stuff is super good. Okay, we're going to check in with Michael to find out what is happening with Void Gallery in the community in the next little while. So much on the horizon. You guys have 3 big things that you will want to mention to the folks out there.
Yes, please. So first of all, we've been working with Core Neighborhood Youth Co-op on some zines. We'll be showing those off Thursday, April 25th from 1 to 3 as part of an open house there. We'll be continuing the zine project with Global Gathering Place and with Open Door Society, and with Out Saskatoon with some youth. So that'll be coming up in the future months. And then last, we have a Rezo exhibition. So prints are coming in from across North America. This is going to be at AKA for May and June with an opening Thursday, May 16th at 8 p.m.
So tons to look forward to. Mark your calendars now and make sure you go and support your creative community. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks so much, Jody.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode of Punch TV. Thank you for joining us. It was such a fun time going and visiting all these cool places and meeting all these creative people. And we have one of these that Kate made to give away. So if you want to get your hands on this, just comment on our Facebook page sometime during this month. And at the end of April, we'll make a draw and one lucky winner will get to hang this on their wall. How cool is that? So a big, big thank you to Tim Tyler at Cheshire Smile Studio, to Michael Peterson and the crew at Void, and of course to the cast and the crew, and to you for watching. I'm not gonna keep my dukes up. I'm gonna admire this print instead. We don't have enough star wipes on the show.
We need more star
We need more star wipes.
You guys want to do 10 minutes?